Hello, everybody. Today we are doing our soil infiltration test. Now, you may be asking, well, Miss Piper, what is soil infiltration? Please tell us. I will tell you. This is what it is. So, it is how fast water soaks into the soil. Why does that matter? Many reasons why. It is an indication of your soil's health. So, if your soil is very compact and water cannot get through it very easily, that means that roots are going to have a hard time getting through it from plants. And it also means that there's not a whole lot of organic matter in your soil because the organic matter helps to loosen it up so it's fluffy and plant roots can get through it easily. Water can get to the plant roots easily. And so it's an indicator of soil health. And it tells you how much water the soil can hold. So I'm sure you've seen places here on the playground where after it's been raining a lot in the wintertime or whenever, that there's puddles of water because it's not seeping into the ground. But other places, there's no puddles of water because the water is seeping into the ground. It's not that they receive different amounts of water, it's just that the soil either allowed the water to absorb or it didn't. So some of those areas is that little triangle place outside the kindergarten doors that people always stomp on. And that's one of the reasons it has standing water, because the soil gets so compacted from people stepping on it all day long. That's going to be one of the places that we test. Also, another area that often has standing water is over there by the picnic tables outside of the Glass Palace, where the picnic tables are. That always has standing water in it as well. And why? Because that's where large number of people are constantly in a small area stepping and compacting the dirt, and the grass gets worn away. Therefore, there are not roots penetrating into the soil to loosen it up, because that's one of the things that helps with the infiltration is if there's plants there. So we're going to test 3 areas. We're going to test one of the garden beds right outside our portable. We're going to test that triangle right outside the kindergarten doors. And we are going to test out in the middle of the field. So those are going to be the 3 tests. But first we're going to make our chart, because you are going to do a soil infiltration where you are. So you're going to find a place outside. You're going to get a half a cup of water. So use a measuring cup from your kitchen. I'm sure you probably have a measuring cup. Measure out a half a cup of water. You can put it into a cup that's safe to take outside. And then all you have to do is pour it on the water, or pour on the water. No, pour water on the water. You're going to pour the water on the ground. As soon as all the water is out, you're going to start your time. And then as soon as the water is completely soaked into the ground and you don't see any standing water, then you stop your time. And that's all you have to do. So we're going to test that we're going to shoot for 3 times and see if there's any change in the amount. So what are some things that could change that? If you test it after a heavy rain, maybe it's not going to hold as much water, right? Maybe. We don't know. We'll see. Maybe if that's a high traffic area where a lot of people step, maybe if people stop walking there, that'll change it. Maybe if it becomes a high traffic area, more people step there, then that could change it. So we're going to kind of see, or plants, because like I said, the plant roots will break things up. Worms break up a lot of the soil too. So if you have critters living in there, they're going to do a lot of that breaking up of the soil and make it infiltrate better. So pick a spot. If you want to pick 2 spots, I picked 3 spots here at school that we're going to be monitoring. You can try and have at least 1. You can do more than 1. If you want to do 3 as well, that's fantastic. If you want to do 2, that's great. Pick at least 1 so you can do the test yourself. And we are going to keep some information. So let's get our notebooks set up for that. So in your science notebook, in your next available page, you are going to label it soil infiltration test. I am going to make 3 because I'm going to do 3 tests. You only need to well, actually, yeah. So I'm going to have you write down the 3 ones that I do. So you're going to write these down. And then you are also going to write down the ones that you do. So you can do that on, if you're only going to do 1, you can do it right here, or you could do it on the back side of your page. So you need to write down the 3 tests that we do here at school. And then you're also going to write down all the tests that you do at home. So the reason that I have 3 is because I'm going to do it 3 different times. So the first one that I did, the actual test date was, find what the actual test date was. Tuesday. So that was October 20th. So the first day was October 2020, 10/20/20. And over here, so what I did was I made it a rectangle. So the label location part is 3 squares, and then you write location. And this one was middle of field. And then 2 rows, 2 rows, 2 rows. And then over here, we're going to have date, time, and that means not the time of day, that means the time that it took to infiltrate. And the conditions. Now, why would we want conditions? Because it's going to make a difference if it's pouring rain or if the soil is wet already. Those are going to have possibly make a difference. So since those are variables, we want to make sure that we write those down, because so it may be like super dry the next time we do it because it was damp this time. So next time it might be super dry, and that may have an influence on what our time is. So we want to make sure that we are recording what those conditions are. So the day that this was done, damp soil, clear skies, clear sky, damp soil, and clear sky, damp soil. Because if it's super sunny out as opposed to cloudy, water also, the evaporation rate is going to increase, and therefore the soil, that's going to impact the how wet or dry the soil is. So it's going to have an impact. All right, and then this was 10/20/20 as well. All right, so let's go do some tests. Hey everybody, I am out here in the garden and we are going to do our soil infiltration test. So you're going to get some water and you're going to need half a cup of water. So I know you all probably have some sort of measuring cup in your kitchen, so just get half a cup of water. You can pour it into another cup so you can take it outside. And we're going to do 2 different locations. So the first location I'm going to do is here in the garden, and we're going to see how fast the water will go down into sink and absorb into the soil. So I'm going to measure out half a cup. almost got it. Okay, so there's my half a cup of water. So now I'm going to pour it into the soil, and I'm going to time how long it takes to absorb. So here we go. I'm going to pour it in. I'm not going to start the time until I have poured all of the water out. Time starts. And stop. Okay, so that took 11 seconds. So 11 seconds was for the garden. So now I am going to do test number 2, location number 2, at this triangle point where the sidewalks meet. It's here by the kindergarten doors, and this is where everybody kind of cuts through. And if you remember back during the school year, when the rainy season came, this was usually had a big puddle of water or is muddy or something. So we're going to test this location and see how long it takes for it to soak in there. Now, it has been quite some time since kids have been here, and so you can see the change already. This didn't used to have so much grass growing here, and now look at all the grass that's growing here, right? And another change you may see is we have a different fence. So the fence has been pushed out a little bit because the fence used to be here. That fence is gone, and now it's out there. It's because they put up a higher fence all around the field. So that's a new change. All right, so let's do our test here. All right, so I've got my half a cup of water. I'm going to pour it in here to try to get it so you can see, whoopsie, where I'm pouring it in at. And then we'll start our time. Still see some standing water there. Still waiting. Still waiting. Still got some puddles. You can see what I'm pointing at. Still waiting, almost. We still got some back here. Okay, we're gonna stop there. So that location number 3 is gonna be out here right in the middle of the field. So notice the grass has gotten a lot thicker since children at recess have been away. So we are going to find a spot where we have some access to the dirt so we can see. So we're going to use that spot right there. So I'm just going to push some of the grass off to the side. Okay, so I've got my last half cup of water. Time will start when it's all out. Wow, that's done already. I think that may have been the fastest. Now we just need to record our times. So the first time for the vegetable garden, we are going to put 0, 0, because that indicates hours. Then we're going to put 0, 0, because that is minutes. And it was a total of 11 seconds. So that's how we're going to write 11 seconds. Then the trial number 2, the triangle outside the kindergarten doors, that was 1 minute 56 seconds. So that's going to be 0, 0, 0, 1, colon 56. And then the middle of the field was 6 seconds. Wow. So that was 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 6. Squeeze that in there. there we have our times. So we will check that again in a few months in those same locations and see if there has been any change. So go find your location where you are and get that data.